So Campagnolo launched a new wheelset, the Hyperon Ultra, and you may remember the old Hyperon Ultra 2s. They were those ultra light fancy climbing wheels for the really steep mount. And during the Giro in 2022, so last year, we've seen some stealthy new Campagnolo wheels which didn't feature the kind of G3 technology that Campagnolo usually uses for its wheels. That's when the spokes are grouped up in groups of 3 basically, which makes for a pretty cool pattern, like a star kind of pattern. And you may have seen my other video which suggested that there are going to be new climbing wheels from Campagnolo. And I have to say they pretty much resemble the Bora Ultra WTOs, which also feature this special kind of extra fancy carbon layup and also carbon technology. The carbon hub and also the cold ceramic bearings, which aren't the ultra smooth bearings that you find in the normal WTO Boras, but they are even a level higher. So the cold bearings are really the highest of quality that Campagnolo offers. Let's check them out in more detail here. We have 1240 grams for the pair, which is pretty light for a two-way fit wheel, because you have to consider that the rim is tubeless ready and needs to be stronger on the surface where the tire pushes against the rim, because it's not a tubular anymore. They are, however, available in a tubular version I've seen. Most of the people will go tubeless anyway, I believe, because of the rolling resistance and the comfort. 3,600 euros. This is even more expensive than the WTO Ultras, which come in at 3,200, but also at 1,400 grams, so they are considerably heavier. Of course, we have here the 45s, so the rim is deeper, of course. But what's really interesting, of course, is the rim and how it is shaped, because in modern cycling times now we have seen rims are getting wider and wider, and for the new Hyperon Ultra we have an internal rim width of 21 millimeters, which is pretty wide for a road rim, because this is a pure climbing wheel set which will be used for the road only, I believe, and we have a 21 millimeter inner width. This is pretty much advanced, because back in the days 21 would be the tire width on which you raced, and you believe that the narrower the tire, the faster you go, like at 9 or 10 bars or so. And now we have a rim inner width of 21, which is pretty amazing. Profile height, so we have a 37 millimeter rim height, so it's just between this 33 and 45 that Campagnolo usually now offers in their WTO lineup. But of course the Hyperon is not part of this WTO group, of this wind tunnel optimized group, but it's another family, let's say. And the rim, of course, still doesn't have holes, so the tubeless fit will be really pleasant. You don't have to put on a rim tape and you don't have that mess to care about, in addition to the sealant that already makes enough of a mess, right? And they are said to be ultra reactive and the handling is said to be ultra superior. I'm really stoked. Maybe one day have the opportunity to test them out. Let's compare it to the WTO Ultra. We have a 19 millimeter inner width of the rim, 2 millimeters less, and the recommended tire size for the Ultras are from 23 upwards, but they are, however, optimized for 25, I read here. However, we at our shop, and also myself, we ride and race them with a 28 millimeter most of the time, and that works just perfectly fine. So in the end, what's the difference between the new Hyperon Ultra and the Bora Ultra WTO? Well, it's lighter, it is shallower, it is wider, and also a lot more reactive. They say they ditched the G3 pattern, so they may found a new spoke lacing pattern that's even more reactive and even stiffer in that case. Otherwise they would not have produced such a wheel set. And also Campagnolo fans like myself, of course, we eagerly awaited a renewed pair of old Hyperon Ultra 2 wheels, because they were just frankly really beautiful. Also engineering wise, for the time being, it was really amazing. And checked out, we had an outer width at the time of 20 millimeters for the rims, so they are super narrow for modern times. And at 1120 grams, they weren't that much lighter than the disc brake tubeless version that we have now, so that's pretty amazing. So the weight will be one of the main arguments, of course, combined with the reactivity of those new Hyperon Ultra wheels. So pretty amazing stuff from Campagnolo again. Well, next up we'll be waiting for the new group set, right? And I have a video of that coming as well, so stay tuned for that. And thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.